Hello, Dr. Joe here of the drjoe.com and the 2020from.com. So in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about facial fat, fat on the face. You know, sometimes we gain so much fat that our face becomes too rounded and we're not happy with it. We want to have a trimmer face. How can you go about doing that? How can you lose facial fat? How can you lose fat from the face? Well, you are in luck because I've got 3 tips that I want to share with you on how you can lose some fat from the face. Now, I should say this. These tips that I'm going to be sharing with you, they're also going to make you lose fat globally. You're going to lose belly fat, both external and internal, which is the visceral fat. So the facial fat is just one objective. And you're going to like them because they are easy tips that you can employ easily. Now, just before I tell you about the tips, a quick plug here. My book on managing high blood pressure with lifestyle approach. Links to get the book right below this very video. So 3 tips that will help you to lose fat from the face. Tip number 1. Well, you want to eat what we call low sodium foods. Okay, low sodium foods. Now, when you have excess sodium circulating in the body, you're going to retain water. And when you retain water, that leads to bloating and puffiness. And sometimes that puffiness reflects in the face as well. And our face looks a bit puffy, especially when we wake up in the mornings. Now, how can you go about reducing your sodium levels? Well, eat low sodium foods. And now you're wondering, what are these low sodium foods? Well, here are some examples for you. And here are some examples of low sodium foods that will keep your sodium levels in check. So, before I go into the examples, what you want to do is reduce your daily sodium intake to 2,300 milligrams per day, preferably 1,500 milligrams per day. That's when you know that you've optimized your sodium intake into the lower echelons, if you like. So examples would be okra, nice vegetable. Okay, lovely vegetable. I've done a video on okra before. It's a really, really nice vegetable that you have to include in your diet. Asparagus is another. Carrots will keep your sodium levels really low for you. Mangoes, tropical fruit that you will enjoy without spiking your sodium levels. Broccoli is another really low vegetable that will help you maintain low sodium levels. Apples are really, really low sodium fruit, there for you to enjoy and equally tasty. Corn is another low sodium food that you need to consume. Frozen veggies like green beans are another source of low sodium foods for you. Prickly pear, another tropical fruit there. Just make sure you burn off the spikes before you consume the prickly pear. But it's a very nice low sodium fruit there for you. Guava is another low sodium fruit that you can consume as well. So I've got another choice of tropical fruits here for you. So that's tip number 1, eating low sodium foods. Tip number 2 is you want to eat what we call negative calorie foods. Now, the term negative calorie foods is a bit of a misnomer because strictly speaking, there are no negative calorie foods. But what the term actually means is that when you consume these foods, your body spends more energy digesting and metabolizing these foods than the energy you derive from consuming these foods. So hence they're called negative calorie foods. But strictly speaking, they're actually low calorie foods. That's what they are. So here are some examples of low calorie foods that you can consume that will help you to lose fat from the face. Now, as for negative calorie foods, I've got 5 examples here for you. The first is cucumbers. Really, really low calories. You're not going to get, much calories by consuming cucumbers.
easy for you to lose fat from the face when you consume cucumbers. And of course, celery is another as well. Full of fiber, but hardly any calories. Watermelon is another, tasty, but you're not going to get a lot of calories from it regardless. It's mainly water and the fiber. Lettuce, also really, really low calorie vegetable. Cauliflower is another example of a low calorie vegetable that you can consume without having to worry about weight gain on your face. If anything, you'll be losing fat from your face.
So that's tip number 2. You want to eat negative calorie foods. Let's move on to tip number 3. What do you do in tip number 3? Well, what you want to do is include resistance training in your exercise regime. Now, if you want to lose fat from the face, you have to involve yourself in some physical activity. And for most people, the physical activity they think about will be cardio. Yes, cardio is a good idea. Cardio is a very nice machine for you to burn fat from the belly, for you to burn fat from the face, for you to burn fat from the hips. However, if you want to get more bang for your buck, then resistance training is something that you want to include in your exercise plan, because resistance training will enable you to protect your lean body mass. It will help you preserve your lean body mass. And the more of it you do, you might even increase your percentage lean body mass, which means you have more muscle. And when you have more muscle, your metabolic rate goes up. And a higher metabolic rate means you're going to burn more fat from the face. You're going to have a trimmer face. So you want to include resistance training about 2 to 3 times a week in your exercise plan. When you do that, you're going to turbocharge your efforts, and you're going to get more bang for your buck as far as exercise is concerned. So that goes your 3 tips. 1 is you want to eat low sodium foods. 2, you want to eat negative calorie foods. And 3, you want to include resistance training in your exercise plan about 2 to 3 times a week. When you do that, of course, the results are going to be very obvious. So hopefully you got some value from this very video. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Please like the video, and also please share this video with your friends, with your family, with your colleagues. And if you got any questions, any comments regarding the content of this video presentation, go ahead, leave your questions or comments down below. I think that's about it. Until next time, well, this is Dr. Joe signing out.